time for movies on rock and roll football. It's Meet Me in the Foyer with Linda Marrick and Jawa.
Meet Me in the Foyer.
Hello to all our Prime mates. Good to see you again. Thank you for choosing to meet me in the foyer once more. I'm your host, Jawa, and thankfully the universe has been generous as we are joined again by the Queen of Critics herself, Linda Marrick. How are you doing, Linda?
I'm very well. I wish I was the queen of all critics. I wish I had all that money.
Oh, you're a very important person in the critics circle.
I wish.
And of course, you've got your own award ceremony coming up shortly. Do you not?
Yeah, Sunday.
Sunday.
You might be listening to this on Sunday. So on that day, we have our London Critics Circle Film Awards. Very exciting stuff indeed.
I look forward to the photos and the all the winners coming out.
And you can actually, can I plug it?
Of course you can.
It will be streamed live on YouTube via the Critics Circle YouTube channel. And you could also watch it live on all the socials for the Critics Circle. So look it up. I might ask Jawa to put a link later for the awards for the Critics Circle YouTube channel, and then you can follow it there if you want to watch live.
Fantastic. Well,
if you missed the live, you can rewatch it because it gets uploaded.
Brilliant.
Afterwards.
Well, that's my Sunday night planned. Absolutely. Yes, well, of course, this week we'll have our usual box office top 10 and my classic movie, but more importantly, Linda will be bringing us 2 reviews. What are you bringing us this week, Linda?
This week I'm reviewing, and I've had to really sort of, think about what to review, because this week is I'm not saying quality, but there are tons of movies out this week that are all sort of equally getting big releases. So it was really hard for me to decide what to review. So I'll be reviewing Primate, the sort of chimpanzee movie that you've seen adverts all around town about, and then I will also be reviewing Is This Thing On, which I saw all the way back in October during London Film Festival, and one of my favorite films of the year.
Spoilers. Very good. Look forward to both of those. But yeah, that's what we'll be bringing you. So why didn't we get on with bringing it to you? Let's get a crack-a-lackin'. So let's start, as we always do, with the box office top 10.
Meet Me in the Foyer.
And in the box office top 10 this week, as it stands, as we record, at number 10, it's Return to Silent Hill, the sequel to the movie that was an adaptation of a game that I played once and didn't particularly enjoy. And that's been out a week and it's made £579,000.
Not bad.
No.
A horror, B movie horror movie.
Number 9, Mercy. It's also been out a week. A lot of films coming out this week, so the box office top 10 is crowded with them. That's made £612,000, and that's the film starring Chris Pratt and Rebecca Ferguson. That's
£600,000 too much for too many, I must say. Terrible. Probably one of the worst movies of the year so far, and we're only in January. So
yes, I've got a feeling it might be one of the worst movies once we hit December as well. I got that with when Chris appeared on Graham Norton, and I don't know, you can just tell from body language and
he wasn't.
There's only one reason I'm here, Graham, and it's because my movie's terrible. Above that is No Other Choice. Also, its first week on release. That's a Korean black comedy thriller.
Very good movie.
Oh, wonderful. You've seen that already, have you?
I saw that, ages ago.
Above that is Saipan. Also, first week of release. That's a sports drama about the Republic of Ireland national football team.
Great movie as well. I mean, it's been treated quite badly by pretty much everyone because it just happens to be out during award season and it's not in the running for anything, and it's been properly overlooked. But I thought it was really, really well done. I thought it was great. Steve Coogan is in it.
That's right, yes.
And Ina Hardwick, who I think is a fabulous Irish actor who I also interviewed a while ago, just before Christmas, I think it was. You can find my interview with him on Hey You Guys. Sorry to advertise other channels on here.
No, they're our friends.
Yeah.
It's all right.
But if you would like to go and watch it, he's got some really interesting to say about the role. So I'll leave it as a surprise as to who he plays. So you go and check it.
It's a second sports drama that's been out in the last few weeks following the Prince Nassim Hamed film, and both of them intrigue me. I remember this incident happening in reality.
How much did it make?
That has made £772,000 so
That's
far.
doing better than Mercy. That I like.
Mm-hmm.
I really actually I couldn't be happier, because it just shows that you can put doesn't matter how big your star, if your film stinks, then it stinks.
Yes, and it's also made me think Steve Coogan's making quite the career of playing real life people, isn't he? Yeah. Above that, Linda's film of 2025, joint film of 2025, Marty Supreme, on its fifth week of release, now made £13.5 million, doing very well.
In the UK.
Indeed.
And I think I believe it's made its money. I'm going to double check, but I have been keeping a close eye on this, because I feel like there's been, there was talk of it doing extremely well, but at the end, Marty Supreme is an A24 movie, and it's still the most popular A24 movie, but it's never going to make billions. It has so far made 109.4 million, and it was made for 60. So it has more than made its money back, and it, once it opens, I think it's just about to open in Australia, or maybe it has just opened in Australia. I don't know if it's opened in Asia yet. And Timothée Chalamet is extremely popular in Asia, and I think once that market gets hold of it, it will double its money, definitely. And I think A24 can call this a success regardless. If this had been like a really massive Hollywood studio that made this movie and it was just 109.4 million, I would have kind of thought, oh, it's a failure, but not for A24. I think this is a success for everyone.
Absolutely. And once the award ceremonies come round and it picks up some of those, it'll make even more money, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Above that, another film nominated for the awards upcoming in the few months. It's Zootropolis 2 on its 9th week of release. That's now made £31 million in the UK. And I actually watched it this weekend at last and really enjoyed it. I think it's a great scene.
Not as good as the first one, still, I maintain.
No, but still lots of good gags, really good-hearted, and yeah, lovely film. As opposed to number 4, which I won't be watching, I'm afraid, blotting my film watching copybook. It's Avatar: Fire and Ash, 6 weeks on release, £40 million. That's the
keeping cinemas are very happy with it being around. So and I also heard there was an interview, I can't remember who it was it the Observer or the Times, with James Cameron this weekend, where he was talking about moving. It's nothing to do with the movie, but he was talking. He has moved his whole family to New Zealand to live in New Zealand.
Oh wow!
Away from America. Now, when the guy said, "Oh, is it because it's such a beautiful country and nature and stuff?" He goes, "No, it's because it's sane. America is not a sane country right now. I like sanity. I live there for sanity. I live there because people love and respect science and are not ignorant and are not sort of, they don't have that kind of fascistic way of looking." And it made me have a completely kind of different view on James Cameron, not because I think that's a really nice thing to say as well. I also think anyone who defends science over stupidity, for me, is a good person in my good books. I still don't think his movies are all that clever, but he is someone who knows what the general public wants, and he brings it to them every time.
Absolutely. I've always liked James Cameron. I just haven't liked his movies since the late 90s. So, but anyway. At number 3, last week's number 1, 28 years later, The Bone Temple, on its second week of release, has now made 5.7 million, and you can catch Linda's review on last week's show. Still doing very well for an 18 certificate. That's
Very good.
getting slightly, I think it's getting slightly unhelpful press, I think, by people sort of going on about how gory it is. And I mean, it is, but
Okay. It's not a film for kids, you know.
no.
So
Well,
it's a zombie movie. What do you want from it? You know, you know, it is the goriest of the 3, or the 4, if you want to add. I don't consider 28 weeks later as part of the franchise or of the canon. I know people would disagree with me, but I just for me it felt more like a TV movie.
Yeah.
I never really like. But I must revisit it. Maybe I will change my mind. Yeah, it's the goriest of all.
Yeah, I don't think 28 Weeks Later is a bad movie, and I know exactly what you mean about the TV movie nature of it, but yeah, I think even the filmmakers can't decide whether it's canon or not. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But, yeah, definitely worth a rewatch, I would say. And above that, multi-nominated film, critic darling, but not with our critic, and that's what matters. It's Hamnet in its third week of release. That's now made £12 million at the box office in the UK.
And I'm hearing from distributors, people who know this stuff, and people who work in sort of adding up all the beans and stuff, that small independent cinemas are very happy that Hamnet has been so popular, and they are literally sold out every night. And for me, as I say, as someone who loves cinema regardless of anything, and loves the sort of the idea of films being shown in cinemas and cinemas continuing to live, I am absolutely delighted. I just don't think it's a great movie, that's all. But at least you go and see it if you want to go and see it. And, yeah.
And as I predicted just last week, I was in a bookshop over the weekend, and there were Shakespeare books all over the place. Kept trying to tie into the Hamnet, furore, shall we say? Which means our number 1, bizarrely, is once again The Housemaid. It's risen back to the top of the charts on its 5th week on release, and it's now made 26 million at the box office.
Hi, Melanie. Hi, Mrs. Winchester. Please call me Nina. Come on in.
What are you doing here?
I work here. Nina, where are they?
Hey, what's going on?
Billy threw away my PTA notes. Why don't we go check your office? You need to be more careful next time. You've ruined my entire day. I'm sorry. I do not know how he puts up with her. He's a hot ant. I really need to get out of here. You're leaving? No, you misheard me. I want you to feel safe here. I don't know what I'd do without you. Oh my God. What kind of monsters are we? I need a fucking sandwich.
So people can't get enough of Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried, even with Sydney Sweeney apparently getting herself in trouble again with another publicity stunt this week. But if you don't know what I mean, it's to do...
No, I don't know. I didn't
Oh, do you not know? Oh, okay.
No, I don't know. Tell me.
There was a story that she might be in trouble because she went to the Hollywood sign in the middle of the night with a friend and hung her bras all over it.
It's
publicity stunt for her lingerie range.
That's okay. She can do that. I don't mind.
Yes, it's
As long as she's
inoffensive.
not gone out there going, I support ICE, or,
That's right.
I love Donald Trump or something,
She wasn't hanging MAGA
She,
hats all over the
yeah,
place.
exactly. She can hang her bras and knickers wherever she wants to. It doesn't bother me.
Well, you
She's
heard it here
she's
first.
a young Hollywood star,
Mm.
and she's playing the right game. I don't think she's perfect in any way, shape, or form, but she will grow up and she will sort of, yeah. I think let's let her live her life. Yeah.
I remember someone got in trouble years ago for dumping their ashes over the Hollywood sign, but I can't recall who it was. And of course, the other anecdote is that Ozzy, I'm sure it was, no, it was Alice Cooper bought one of the O's for one of the Marx brothers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the lead Marx brother. He bought the O for him. But anyway, that's
Okay.
an aside into nothing. So that's the box office top 10 for this week, with Rambly Stories included. Right, so it feels like time for a review.
Meet me in the foyer.
Yep, so it's time for a review and even more monkeying around as Linda has a thorough look at Johannes Roberts'
Johannes.
new horror film Primate, going from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. But will it be a disappointing example of guerrilla filmmaking, or will it make Linda go ape? Let's find out.
There's something wrong with Ben.
Lucy's mom was trying to get humans and chimps to communicate. He got really smart, really fast.
In the pool! Ben can't swim!
Lucy, bad.
Why is Ben doing this? It's not Ben anymore.
911, what's your emergency?
You found me.
Primate. Who the hell has a pet chimp?
Hey, buddy.
January 9th.
So Primate, from director Johannes Roberts, as you were saying, and if you haven't heard of Johannes Roberts, or if you've heard of the name but you can't place him, he's someone who's made a ton of sort of like second-rate horror movies, from 47 Meter Down, The Other Side of the Door, Storage 24, The Strangers Prey at Night, and Resident Evil. One of the Resident Evil movies, one of the latest ones, Baby Blue, The First Omen, which was, I think, his last big movie, that actually did not badly at the box office. A little bit stupid and a bit dumb, but So when I say that, as a whole what kind of movie this is going to be. It's basically horror movie, ticks. It's by numbers, really. So the story is at a house in the remote part of Hawaii. A veteran. The film starts with this kind of like a setting scene that doesn't make too much sense, really. So a vet named Doug Lambert enters an outdoors animal enclosure where a chimpanzee called Ben is, and things happen, and that's the opening scene. And then we are kind of like the real film starts again with this group of young college girls who have just finished their studies, and they're all traveling to Hawaii to stay with Lucy, whose family lives in Hawaii, and she hasn't seen them for a while. Her sister is a bit upset with her. Her dad misses her. Her mom has recently died from some ailment or other. And when they get to the house, Lucy's friends meet Ben. They're a young chimpanzee that they've had all their lives. They've had him since he was a baby, and he's like a part of their family. What happens is that throughout the night, we realize that Ben, something had got into his enclosure at night and bit him, and the thing that bit him had rabies, and the animal becomes really ill, and a vet is called to take care of him, to give him a shot. And when that happens, the vet gets, basically annihilated by Ben. And throughout there, there is a huge sort of there's a the story is around these 3 or 4 girls trying to survive the night. I also must say that the playing the role of Lucy's dad is Troy Kotsur, who won the I believe it was the best supporting actor award, either the best supporting actor or best actor. I cannot remember, for Coda. Coda, a film that nobody has seen since. Absolutely terrible movie. That I just cannot believe that movie is not terrible. It's just a movie for TV, and that no one's going to remember in 50 years' time. But his acceptance speech was very special because he was the very first deaf actor to win a Oscar, and very well deserved as well. Actually, he was fabulous in that role. Let's go back to the film, and the film really, it's basically bolts, it's basically, it does what's written on the tin. You get loads of sort of really horrible body horror stuff where the chimpanzee is really sort of hunting these young girls. And actually, cleverly, what they do is they all jump in the water because he has rabies and he's scared of water. So they all jump in the water, and then you get like loads of kills in it, and each kill is as ridiculous as you can. It's like typical horror movie by the numbers, and it's inoffensive in my opinion. It's not terribly clever, it's not terribly interesting, not that well acted apart from Troy Kotsur. But then he's not gonna get, I actually quite surprised to see him in this. But then again, when you are an actor with a disability and you haven't worked since you won your Oscar, and I don't know what he's done since winning his Oscar. Actually, I am going to look it up because I'd be very interested. So since Coda, he's only been in one other movie, which is In Cold Light, which tells you, and that was, he won in 2021. We're in 2026 now, so it just goes to show that the winning, for best supported, winning an Oscar means nothing for your career. You can ask, like, tons of other actors have said that. So as I was saying, when you are an actor with a disability in a town like Hollywood, where it's not everyone is represented how they should be, I don't blame him for taking on this role, and actually it saddens me to see that he hasn't been doing a whole load since. It's not great, it's not bad, it's just okay. It does exactly what you expect it to do from a horror movie. I think the screenplay could have been written by ChatGPT easily, and I suspect it was. Sorry, allegedly. It's not great, it's not bad, but I watched it and I enjoyed it, and it's terribly violent as well. And I, to be honest with you, I'm never really that comfortable with any film where an animal gets hurt, and even if he's doing the hurting. So I wasn't, like, I had to close my eyes a few times during it. But yeah, it does what it wants to do. It's being released by Paramount here in the UK, and it's likely to do really well. But let's see, because there are a couple of other big movies coming out, like big release movies coming out this coming week. It's quite a big release week. I'm not saying great movies, I'm just saying it's a week where, with the most amount of releases and general releases, like as in 300 plus screens around the country, which is usually quite a good number of screens. So yeah, it will do well, I think.
Certainly, yes. The trailer, I saw it late last year, I think, when I went to see Carrie. The trailer was intriguing. So it's a little disappointing to hear it's not great, but then you couldn't expect much more from a
You would like it. You would like
animal
it.
horror film, could you? And
I just thought it was a bit stupid, but at the same time, it's a horror movie. It's a B movie. It's what do you expect? It's not gonna it's not. It's not winning any kind of prizes in the best written script.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how I feel about most horror films, I have to say. But but maybe the chimpanzee wrote the script. Maybe the chimp who it's the same chimp who was in Project X with Ferris with Matthew Broderick, or the same chimp who was in Lawnmower Man with Pierce Brosnan, and he hasn't worked since. So he's written this script, and he just needs to try a little bit harder. Maybe get 999 other chimps to work in a room with him, and they'll produce.
I just thought it was. I don't want to see animals like hurting or being sick, or But then, like, he does a lot of the hurting as well. So
exactly, is he the villain in this piece?
He's the villain, definitely. It's not his fault. He's sick.
And although we all complain about film length and often say, "Oh, why can't films be an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes?" This one's 89 minutes, and the minute you see that, you think, yeah, it's probably not very good. But that's me being judgy.
It feels a lot longer, I must say.
And you're right. Yes, Troy Kotsur won. He actually won Best Supporting at the Oscars, Best Supporting at the Baftas, and Best Supporting at the Critics' Choice Awards that year. So good take home haul for him. But as you say, perhaps not the best vehicle for him this time. But no, excellent. I will probably watch that at some point because I am a sucker for an animal horror movie. Brilliant. So that's your first choice if you're swinging through the trees to the cinema this week. But why don't we check out the news? And what is in the news this week?
Meet me in the foyer.
First of all, Gore Verbinski is back with a new film, his anti-AI apocalypse movie starring Sam Rockwell as a time traveller who's made his way back to our time to warn us that things are going to go extremely badly. But I have full faith this film won't go extremely badly when it hits cinemas on the 20th of February. We have a new trailer for Maggie Gyllenhaal's new monster movie, The Bride, starring recent Golden Globe winner and Oscar and BAFTA nominee Jessie Buckley, with Christian Bale, Jake Gyllenhaal, Annette Bening, and Peter Sarsgaard. Oh, and Penelope Cruz, in fact. And that hits cinemas on the 6th of March.
Can anybody help me? Please. I didn't want this. I didn't want any of this! Please. Help. Help. What happened?
You had an accident.
An accident, huh?
We dug you up, and we brought you back to life.
Get on stage, and I call her by her first name.
What do you want with a dead girl?
I'm the same, born from the dead. I am a monster.
Yeah, so am I.
This world is a black hole.
The corrupt are going to see life is here, and it's coming to you from the monsters.
Yes! Yes!
Everybody dance! Everybody sing! Everybody move!
Please don't hurt me, please. I'm sorry.
What are you sorry for? Did you do something wrong? Something you thought you might get away with?
Stop right there!
No, just the bride.
Scared?
It's been confirmed that How to Train Your Dragon 2, the live-action remake, is in the works, unsurprisingly, after the huge success of the first one. And Cate Blanchett is joining the cast, reprising her role from the animation as Valka, with the film flying into cinemas in June of next year. What else do we have? We have a trailer for new gothic horror The Dreadful, starring Game of Thrones brother and sister Kit Harington and Sophie Turner, from writer-director Natasha Kermani, and that's due out on the 20th of February as well.
This is a time of war. Evil is not always obvious. Demons walk the earth in the shape of men. Mistress May, God is good. Thank you. Won't she miss it? She has plenty. We have nothing.
Iago!
Hello, Ron.
Back from Tewkesbury. Are the wars over then?
Over for me.
Where is my husband?
And he tried to fight. They killed him.
My Johannes not coming back. All that matters is that we survive.
Don't you know you shouldn't be walking alone here?
I shouldn't walk with a man who's not my husband.
We can't afford such beautiful gifts. Who else knows you've returned from your travels?
You are but the first.
Where have you been? You know I'd die without you. You must be very cautious not to give in to sin.
I want you. Leave her. Come live with me.
Stay with me, and you'll have nothing to fear. I'm hungry all the time. The things that I have lost.
Our lives are ours to live.
You cannot abandon your duty to me. Lights of hell will come from you. Hell is real.
She's trying to scare you.
They will pull you down to hell.
Christina Hodson has been named as the writer of the script for the upcoming Batman Brave and the Bold, being directed by Welcome to Derry director Andy Muschietti, which does fill me with dread a little bit, as their previous efforts, Bird of Prey and Flash, were absolute dumpster fires. But we shall see. We shall see. We have a trailer for the next Stephen Graham project, The Good Boy, from director Jan Komasa. And that also stars Andrea Riseborough, and that's due out on the 20th of March.
Do you think I could play with Tommy soon?
Maybe not just yet. I know it may look unconventional. Believe me, we won't be keeping him there for long. Tommy's going through a rebellious phase.
I'm gonna obliterate you the second I get out of here!
It's quite impressive, really, how you've managed to aimlessly float through your whole life completely unnoticed.
You're scared, aren't you?
Or do you think all of this is funny? This is real life.
You're already dead, you scum!
We treat each other with respect. Bad boy! Bad boy! Bad boy! Bad boy! Bad boy!
I would like to apologise for what I did to you. I promise not to do it again.
Good boy.
Fear always brings self-destruction. Open your mind and invite progress.
I think it's time. See it as a sign of our trust in you and the progress you've made. Which is better, blissful stupor, dealing with sober reality?
Life's sick sometimes. It's your only chance to get out your head. I know someone else used to live here. What did you do to him?
I'm so proud of you, son. You protected this family today.
You're not my family. This isn't real.
Tommy, we're not psychopaths.
He never stops working, that Stephen Graham chap. And kind of exciting because I do like a bit of brainless TV. Jamie Lee Curtis is set to star in a cinematic reboot of Murder, She Wrote, with Pitch Perfect director Jason Moore set to direct. And finally, as we covered the Oscar noms last week, why don't we do a quick rundown on the BAFTA nominations which came out today. In the much smaller Best Animation category, Elio gets a nomination again, hurrah, along with Little Amelie and Zootopia 2. And that's it. Just the 3 nominated. No K-pop Demon Hunters in the BAFTA nominations.
That is ridiculous.
But I feel...
Although,
yes,
I have a feeling K-pop Demon Hunters did not get a theatrical release, and that's mostly the reason why it's not nominated.
Oh,
I'm so surprised.
Oh,
Big movie now.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you want to run through the rest of them, but for me, the omission, the biggest omission here is in the Best Supporting Actress, which Amy Madigan, it was hers to lose, really, not nominated. Absolutely ridiculous. Odetta Azion, who is absolutely brilliant in Marty Supreme, has not actually made it onto any shortlists. Well, she's made it onto some shortlists, but not most of them. Inga Ipsdotter Elias has been nominated for Sentimental Value. Very, very, I really loved that performance from her, and I think is well deserved. Wumi Mosako from Sinners, a great actress. Carrie Mulligan for Ballad of Wallace Island. Brianna Taylor for One Battle After Another. Emily Watson for Hamnet. And I genuinely don't understand why Amy Madigan is not nominated in this. It's such a big upset. I cannot believe it.
It is strange, isn't it? And there was another actress I was surprised hadn't been given a nod anywhere. Hayley Stanfield. I was surprised she didn't get a mention at all. But that's just my opinion.
But for me, Amy Madigan was literally hers to lose. I think it's her year. It was her BAFTA to lose, and her not getting a nomination is incredible for me. Like, I genuinely, I was shocked when I heard.
Yeah, I mean, so overall, the nominations are largely the same as the Oscars, with a few changes, such as that strange omission, and Robert Aramayo and Jesse Plemons being added to the Best Actor category. They weren't nominated for the Oscars, but they have been for the BAFTA.
Well, it is also a British, it is a British film awards. You're more likely to find more British names in it. And that's absolutely... Robert Aramayo was never going to... Not that I think he's fabulous. He was never going to get nominated for an Oscar, primarily because nobody's seen his film in America, really. It's such a small budget movie. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So other than that, as I say, it's largely the same. Peter Mullen has been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. As you said, Carrie Mulligan was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for Ballad of Wallace Island. And the additional category in the BAFTAs is Outstanding British Film, in which 28 years later, The Ballad of Wallace Island, Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy, Die My Love, H is for Hawk, Hamnet, I Swear, Mr. Burton, Pillion, and Steve were nominated.
So I think everyone is going to expect Hamnet to win this, but I feel like Pillion might win it.
It's done very well, hasn't it?
Lovely movie. Pillion is such a lovely movie, but I could be wrong. I think Pillion could win.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. It's certainly done well across the categories. I don't even know what Steve is, I have to admit, but
Yeah, it's Cillian Murphy, isn't it? That's all you need to know. It's not great.
I
It's
do,
okay. It's
yes.
fine.
And yeah, so that's the news and Oscar BAFTA nominations for this week, and we'll obviously update you when the award ceremony occurs.
Meet me in the foyer.
Right, so let's have another review from Linda. And mic check 1 2 1 2 for another review. And this time Linda grabs the mic stand for another bit of solo stand-up in the spotlight as she brings us her observations of Bradley Cooper's latest film starring Will Arnett and Laura Dern. Will it have us roaring with laughter, or will it die a death? Let's find out. Can you hear me? Is this thing on?
$15 cover.
To get a drink?
Hey. Yeah.
How come she didn't have to pay $15?
She signed up for the open mic.
Look at me. I kind of look like the guy who tells you the Ferris wheel doesn't work at the amusement park.
I gotta date better men. My ex wouldn't let me touch his Magic the Gathering cards.
I'm gonna shake it up tonight. So let's put your hands together for Alex Novak.
I think I'm getting a divorce. What tipped me off was that I'm living in an apartment on my own, and my wife and kids don't live there. That was probably the biggest clue.
What is the problem?
I don't know, it's complicated.
You don't have to tell me that.
I guess we just slowly grew away from each other.
You two have always been very different.
And you and Dad are twins?
Your father is an immigrant to this country.
I know that.
And I've always been a woman who wants the taste of the exotic.
Jesus, Mom.
Why are you doing stand-up?
Getting a divorce.
You cheated. No. You didn't cheat and you get a divorce? Oh, that's some white guy shit.
I've been doing stand-up. Is it like a hobby? Well, I'm not about to quit my job and go on tour. It's just it's something I look forward to.
Hey, listen, do you mind if I dropped him off here for a couple hours?
Don't ambush me like this in front of the boys. You suck.
You suck.
Give it up for me, I'm doing great. I'm paying rent on a shitty apartment and mortgage for a house that I don't even live in anymore.
So I'm the only one who doesn't know about this?
I have goals this year I want to achieve. Do you have goals, Dad?
Oh, of course I do.
You knew I was struggling. You left me alone.
I left you alone? You checked out? I was unhappy in our marriage. I wasn't unhappy with our marriage.
Man, I wish I had a punchline.
What I like about you is you're so innocent. You're not naive, you're innocent.
You are good. I mean, you're bad at stand-up, but you're good. You have a good heart.
I'm going to start with a bit of a rant because absolutely I don't see why this movie is not in the run-in for anything this year. It's I don't like to blame anyone, but I just think there wasn't the campaign was probably not run as well as it should have been run. It upsets me when I see films in a running who get in loads of nominations that are subpar, and this movie here in particular is actually better than some of those movies. And it's been completely ignored. And I love Bradley Cooper. I think this is one of his best movies. It's very tender. It's beautifully observed. It's got this kind of idea. It presents this idea of grace of second chances, you know. And it feels like a therapy. I feel like you're in a group therapy with it. And it's funny. It's beautifully acted. And it's got everything. It's coming out this week, and it's got everything. Go and see it because, you know, you will get so much out of it, even if you don't know the story. And bizarrely, this is based on the life of the comedian John Bishop. You know, the Liverpool. John, yeah. So Bradley Cooper was in the UK doing something, and he'd heard this story because John Bishop is known to have told this story every time he's gone on to like late night shows, and Bradley Cooper just happened to have heard about this. Actually, maybe it was Will Arnett. Will Arnett plays the main character. We know Will Arnett from Saturday Night Live, from all sorts of other things. He's just an absolutely fabulous comedian, comedy actor, very well respected. And an Anglophile as well, someone who really likes British humour and British cinema and British TV. So, like, if you got to ask him about anything, he will really genuinely will know about it. Anyway, but I just love Bradley Cooper's direction. I think Bradley Cooper is a fantastic actor, and I think Bradley Cooper should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. There's a performance by him in here that is so hilarious as this kind of like a loserish sort of actor who is forever sort of trying out new things with his career, and he's kind of like in a battle between him and his wife, whether he doesn't know whether he still loves her or if he wants to divorce her. But anyway, he's not the main guy, but he steals the show throughout it. So I don't know if you are vaguely familiar with the story of John Bishop. So where he says that he was basically in a high flying job, earning good money, but he was also in a marriage that was basically broke down. He actually divorced his wife. He was divorcing his wife, and that their relationship was dead and buried. And because he hated his job, I think he worked as he was just basically working in some kind of office. I can't remember what it was, and making decent amount of money. He decides on a whim to no longer do this. He goes to an open mic and realizes that he's actually quite funny, and people are laughing at his jokes. And the first joke he tells is that he's breaking up with his wife, and all that kind of, it's not like the classic 1970s take my wife, kind of comedy. It's more comedy about relationships, about him like opening himself up to scrutiny about the state he finds himself in. He doesn't recognize who he is, and doesn't recognize his wife here is played by Laura Dern, who is brilliant. Absolutely, why is she not in the running for Best Actress or Best Supporting Actress? It's ridiculous. I don't understand. If I lived a million years, I will never understand the way sort of voters think about these movies. But yeah, there you go. So the story is that through doing this for himself, through believing in himself and taking himself out of the box and sort of expanding his own life, expanding his all sort of worldview, he becomes more interesting to his wife. And suddenly, one day she walks into this comedy club and he's on stage, and she sees something completely different. Up to then, she'd completely had lost respect for him because he wasn't surprising her anymore. They were still best friends. They were getting a divorce, but still going to parties together, to their mutual friends, and meeting up with their other sort of coupley friends, and they were in each other's lives, but they just did not want to be together because she'd lost that kind of respect or love for him, or their life was just not working. And through him showing her what he can do, she suddenly falls in love with him again. And I just think it's a really beautifully tender, beautifully acted, a really fantastic direction from Bradley Cooper. The writing is so precise. Just try and ignore that it's about John Bishop, because I think it's better if you don't know. But I think it's also cute if you know. Again, I will reiterate: if you go and see this movie, please pay attention to the Bradley Cooper character who plays the best friend of Will Arnett's character, who is just absolutely hilarious. He's the best thing in it. I think he is so funny. That character is so well written. Probably the best movie coming out this week in cinemas. There is one other movie that I'm going to mention really quickly later on. That is also one of like my favorite movies of the year. But this one is just so good and so hilarious, and I really hope it does well in the cinemas. And I encourage you all to pick this one to go and see this week, because there are tons of movies coming out this week.
Fabulous. No, yes. Again, I saw the trailer for this one late last year, and I've been really looking forward to it ever since. It does look great. It does remind me of you must have seen that Tom Hanks movie Punchline from the 80s,
yeah, of course.
which isn't great. It sort of takes a weird direction, that one. Some of the comedy's not that funny, and then it goes down a really awkward path. But this looks fabulous, and hugely looking.
Yeah, I mean, there's a thing that says like movies about comedians are never really that funny. Like they're sort of sad than funny, like Man on the Moon, and just films like that. But this manages to be both things. It is really a tender story about two people finding each other again through getting out of their kind of boring day-to-day life and embracing something new. And that is probably an encouragement for if you are in a couple and you find yourself sort of like getting a little bit sort of sidelined or even just getting tired of the day-to-day. Go and see this movie, because it will make you appreciate your partner more, and it will make you appreciate that you can connect. Once you have a connection with someone, that connection can never really disappear all at once, but relationships change. That doesn't mean they disappear. So I really love this, and I mostly because of the message it sends, really.
Very good advice. That's certainly easier than actually going into a stand-up career yourself. So buy a ticket for this film and reignite that romance, because Valentine's Day is, of course, just a couple of weeks away.
I would also like to mention, if you don't mind, I would also like to mention a couple more movies coming out this week, just because, again, it's like one of the sort of the busiest release windows of the year. I'm guessing because everyone wants to get their movie out before the beginning of the month of February, so this is the week to release everything and sort of get on with the year, because so we have Shelter is another Jason Statham action movie, but it's not your usual Jason Statham action movie. It's a British movie for starters. It's not Hollywood money, and it feels different because it's like the first 30 minutes of it is very much it's very subdued and very kind of slow, but then it turns into like your usual sort of fisticuffs, like hand-to-hand fights, and I won't tell you anything about it because it's good that you don't. I mean, it's a really good premise. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a really good premise. The second movie I want to also mention is Nouvelle Vague, the other Richard Linklater movie. So this is all French, a French-speaking movie directed by Richard Linklater, which in my opinion, is one of the best movies of the year. It's basically it tells the story of the making of Abu du Souffle with Jean-Paul Belmondo, with in the 1960s, and it's absolutely brilliant movie. Again, Linklater's got two movies coming in the run-in this year, and I guess Blue Moon got the sort of was pushed towards the awards, but I think Nouvelle Vague will do better in the French awards, which are the César. It's incredible. like it looks so close to the time that it's all in black and white, and it looks like a film made in the 60s, like a nouvelle vague, like a new wave French movie.
Yeah.
I won't go on too long about this. And then there is also Rabbit Trap, which is a kind of a folk horror set in the mid-70s, starring Dev Patel. I won't tell you more about it. It's set in Wales, and it's all about leprechauns, and it's more interesting than it sounds. It's a really good movie, actually.
That sounds very interesting. So it's more
really,
interesting than
really
that.
Good horror. I wish I had reviewed it. It's not getting a terribly big release. It's not going. So you're gonna have to like find it wherever you can. I thought it was really interesting, and I think it premiered at Sundance last year, and it's only just coming out now.
Fantastic. Oh,
that's
a bounty of choices from you this week, Linda. Thank you. Is that another Dev Patel produced one, as he produced Monkey Man?
No, it's produced by Elijah Wood.
Oh, really?
Funnily enough, yeah.
I'll definitely look out for that one as well.
Hang on, I'm going to have a look. Rabbit Trap. So it is directed by Bryn Cheney and stars Dev Patel, Rosie McEwen, and Jade Crute. And it is really produced, not executive produced, by Elijah Wood. And I think does Dev Patel get an no, he doesn't, but it's really actually quite surprising. I went to see it midweek. I can't remember, I think at the end of last week, and there was 3 of us at the screening. And it felt really good, actually, because it was in a really tiny cinema at not cinema, like a screening room at Universal. And it felt like really cozy, and it was raining outside, and it felt really cozy, and it was just so well done. And I don't know how many theaters it's going out, but I encourage everyone to go see it if they can.
Wonderful. Well, as I say, loads of great choices there for you to pick from, and I certainly will be seeing as many of those as I can. Maybe not the Jason Statham one, because I can't get past my bias over little Jason. But no, thank you very much, Linda. That's great. So now it's time for me to grab the mic, as it's time for another of Jawa's classic movie moments.
Meet me in the foyer.
And this week, I take a look at a film celebrating its 40th anniversary. It's a nice fixer-upper that, with a little work, could be quite the nice investment for any prospective movie lover. And I deny all rumours that this is a financial black hole or money pit.
Anna and Walter are young, single, and in love. They've got good jobs, fabulous futures, a magnificent new home that they bought for a song. Who says they can't have it all?
It's gonna be fun fixing it up, you'll see. Look, this is an old house. It's gonna need some work. $5,000? That's just a deposit.
A little work.
When do you think you can start?
Just as soon as your check clears.
A little care.
Do you really buy this house? Yes, it is. A little imagination, and it's gonna be great. Oh, no, mister! Hey, Mr. Fielding, don't worry about a thing. Okay, guys, let's do it!
The Money Pit. If they've got what it takes, it's going to take everything they've got. Coming this Christmas from Universal Pictures.
Yes, that's right. This week I will be talking about The Money Pit, a 1986 American comedy directed by Richard Benjamin and starring Tom Hanks, already mentioned once this week, I believe, or did I just think that? No, I did say it out loud, didn't I? And Shelley Long as Walter Fielding and Anna Crowley, a couple who attempt to renovate a recently purchased house. And it was, of course, as co-produced by Steven Spielberg because it's an 80s comedy, so of course it is. So as I say, the film's about attorney Walter Fielding and his classical musician girlfriend Anna Crowley. They learn that Walter's father, Walter Sr., has married a woman named Florinda, having fled the country after embezzling millions of dollars from their musician clients. The next morning, they are told that they need to vacate the apartment they're subletting from Anna's ex-husband, Max Bishart, a self-absorbed conductor who was returned early from Europe. Through an unscrupulous realtor, Jack Schnittman, Walter learns about $1 million distress sale mansion on the market for just $200,000. He and Anna meet the owner, Estelle, who claims that she must sell it quickly because her husband, Carlos, has been arrested. Her sob story and insistence of keeping the place in candlelight in order to save money from the blood-sucking lawyers distracts Walter and enchants Anna, who find it romantic. They decide to buy it on the belief that the process of restoring the house will cement their relationship. However, as soon as Walter and Anna take possession of the house, it begins to fall apart. And I'll leave it there. So, I mean, yeah, this is one of those films that you caught on TV quite a lot in the 80s and 90s, like Roxanne and Three Amigos. It's just one of those comedies. It wasn't ginormous, but it's always an enjoyable watch every time you see it. It's got a nice gimmick, actually, in that it starts with that pre-title scene of Walter's dad getting married in Brazil. And then it cuts to a shot of his postcard that he sent back, and you just have two people talking over this postcard image and sort of hands moving letters around. And they use that gimmick again and again throughout the film, where it'll cut there'll be sort of inter scenes where someone's talking and you just see their hands and writing notes and looking at estate brochures and things like that, which is either like a really nice touch or just a clever sort of continuity cover up, so they don't have to film whole scenes with people who've only got one or two lines of dialogue. But it's a nice idea, whichever one it was. It's a character comedy, but it's also a situation comedy. And then it becomes a farce and a slapstick and a screwball as well. So it's got a bit of everything in there. It's a situation comedy, as I say, in that it's a setup for lots of physical comedy, lots of pratfalls, some very clever ones, some really hilarious moments in it, really well set up that pay off later in the film. Lots of crazy set pieces. You know, it's a concept that it's a sort of simple premise of couple buy house falls down, comedy ensues. You know, I mean, you can go through the history of cinema, and there are so many of these films. Quite a lot of British ones, I have to say.
Yeah, like suburban comedy, I like to call it. You know, like the Birds and
Yeah, very much. Yeah, very much like that. And as I say, there's quite a lot of British comedies like The Plank and The Newlyweds and all sorts of, with people like Ronnie Barker and you know, half the Carry On crew turning up, and lots of the same sort of things happen. So this one stars, as I say, Tom Hanks as Walter Fielding, Shelley Long as Anna Crowley, Alexander Godunov as Max Bishart, Maureen Stapleton as Estelle, Joe Mantegna as Art Shirk, Billy Lombardo as Benny, Carmine Caridi as Brad Shirk, Brian Bafta as Ethan, Mike Starr as Lenny, Michael Jetta as Arnie, and Afemo, I don't know how to say his name actually, Afemo Omilami as Bernie. And additionally, I don't know why I left that one on, to be honest. Additionally, Wendell Pierce appears as a paramedic assisting Schnitzman. So it's really simply shot. You know, it's essentially a stage play, sort of two-hander, elevated because Long and Hanks are so good. You know, their line readings are just spot on every single time. And like I said, the comedy set pieces are so well planned that they build up and layer upon layer until you get this huge payoff. Although, saying that, there is one huge set piece that concludes the second act where Hanks ends up falling down scaffolding, sort of rolling down a bit in a cart and then toppling into another one and then rolling down a hill and falling into a pond. I don't think that bit quite works because it's almost done like silent comedy, but the timing's a bit off. The soundtrack's not quite right. The effects aren't right, and you can tell they've overcranked the film a little bit. So that bit doesn't quite work. But otherwise, I think it's a really funny film, and the two leads are so charming. Um, there's a slightly questionable bit of plot line, I have to say, when Hanks accuses Long's character of sleeping with her ex-husband one night, and she gets irate with him for asking, although in fact she does believe she did sleep with him. But you watch the film and decide how you feel about that. I thought that was didn't quite work, but it's a useful sort of plot device to keep them antagonized, and then it drives you towards the third act conclusion. Apparently, Kathleen Turner was originally offered the role of Anna Crowley, but she declined in favour of the Jewel of the Nile. Fair enough. That's another cracking 80s comedy action film. It was shot in April of 1985, or it began in April of 85 and was finished in August. But they did go and then reshoot a new opening in Thanksgiving, or on Thanksgiving. Although they delayed shooting because of Shelley Long's pregnancy, and she then, well, after her child was born, she came back and was able to do all the stunts that were necessary herself. And it was shot in Lantington Town, Long Island, in a real stunning mansion that did eventually sell much later on for sort of in the 90s, I think, for $2 million. It's only got 50% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, but like I say, it's not one that you can expect. Much like Linda was saying about with Primate, you're not expecting Oscar-worthy filmmaking here. It's just fun. It's good fun, and as I say, very charming characters. Very funny moments. It's another week where I fall out with Roger Ebert because he only gave it 1 out of 4 stars. He called it monotonous, one sight gag after another, and his colleague Gene Siskel agreed, giving it also 1 out of 4, describing it as miserable and an abject failure. I disagree. He criticised Tom Hanks for being his, quote, usual smug self. So I feel like Siskel's got a bit of an axe to grind there. And he called Shelley Long more cute than funny, which also sounds terribly misogynistic. But anyway, because she's one of the best comedy actors of the 80s. But there we go. They said that it suffered the same problems with its approach to slapstick comedy as Steven Spielberg's 1941. Again, I entirely disagree. I think 1941 is a dreadful film. Despite its cast, it doesn't work. It's flat as anything. That's a comedy that dies a death. But this, I think, is very funny. They did say that Alexander Godunov's supporting role was the funniest part of the movie. And there, I do agree. He is wonderful. And as an aside, he's got that brilliant run of 3 films because he starred in Witness in 85, The Money Pit in 86, and then Die Hard in 1988. And he was brilliant in all of them. And he's such a great actor. And it's such a shame that he actually died in 1995 at just 45 years old. Those 3 films, a wonderful sort of small legacy in Hollywood. So it was, and actually, it's actually a remake of a Cary Grant film called Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House, which is one of the few Cary Grant films I haven't seen, so I'll have to try and seek that one out. That's from 1948. There were rumors that NBC were planning a TV series, but that never came to fruition. It's the first film collaboration between Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg, who, of course, would go on to collaborate many, many times on films and TV series. There's a dodgy 80s hair metal band called White Lion in the film who appeared twice. the thing I noticed the most, apart from their terrible haircuts, is they've got a girl in the band whose entire job seems to be just to sort of gyrate. She doesn't offer much more than that. I gotta say, maybe she bangs a tambourine at some point. But yeah, and then the actual bass player in that band would go on to join Black Sabbath after the film. And in another group of characters called the Cheap Girls, there's the lead of them is Leslie West, who's actually one of the guitarists from the band Mountain, who's a 70s prog rock band that I quite like myself. So yeah, that's The Money Pit. It's simple, it's straightforward, as is my review. If you just looking for something fun and amusing to watch on a Friday or Saturday night, I recommend The Money Pit if you haven't seen it. And if you haven't seen it, you probably don't need to seek it out. It'll be on telly at some point, I can assure you. So yeah, if you're looking to invest in a movie you haven't seen but fancy a laugh with two of Hollywood's best comedic actors, perhaps I can interest you in purchasing this much-loved property from Benjamin Hankson Long. It's for newlyweds, families, or anyone. It's The Money Pit.
Very good, very good. Yeah, I haven't seen it in a very long time, so I might. Where did you watch it? Is it available in any of the streamers?
I think it's available on all the streamers, and I've got the DVD. So
yeah, I am going to. I generally have not seen it for years. So
I've got a
I've
real
forgotten
problem.
the tone, you know, like I just try to remind myself of that the comedy tone of it.
It's just that sort of classic 80s, sort of busy New York people, but very light-hearted, and as I say, sort of slightly screwball, slightly sassy.
Slapsticky.
Yeah, just lovely, Like I say, small town America sort of thing. Yeah, I'm a real sucker for those sorts of films. I've just watched them again and again. I've got a real problem with those.
You know what you like, you know.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, sadly, we have come to the end of this episode of Meet Me in the Foyer. But if you would like more, just send me your bank details and we'll set up a direct debit on your account. Nothing to fear here. There'll be no monkeying about, as this is No Money Pit. If you subscribe to the Patreon, you'll receive all our content, including past reviews and specials, plus the full-length director's cuts of all of these shows. So like, subscribe, and share. And for now, before the meter on this week's episode runs out, I must give huge thanks to Linda. Thank you very much, and for all of those great suggestions and reviews. And yeah, until next time, take care and goodbye.
Subscribe now to help fans supporting food banks. Go to patreon.com/rockandrollfootball and look for your favourite club subscription pages and sign up with your favourite presenter. Rock and Roll Football. No adverts, no VAR, no limits.
Meet me in the foyer.